Yeah, you still need like a computer that's around $2,000 to $3,000 minimum, at minimum US dollars, to actually make sure that you've got the hardware to actually run these models properly. At least the 20 billion version anyway. When you get to the 120B, obviously you need to spend a bit more than that. But I would still say, even if you are spending money on this, it would be no more than 10,000 US dollars, I would say, and you could probably do a good job. But don't quote me on that. I might be absolutely wrong. So yeah, I don't want to get trolled about that in the comments, please. But yeah, this is the level of education we now need to give ourselves to understand, okay, so if I want to run this model and I want to run on this context window or this context length, this is the hardware that I'm going to need. And if we don't start doing that now, then, we're going to be screwed. Okay. So both models also perform strongly on tool use, few shot function calling, COT reasoning, chain of thought reasoning, of course, and health bet, even outperforming proprietary models like OpenAI o1 and GPT-4o. And here's why I'm actually reading all this information to you, because I know you guys can read this for yourself, but these models are compatible with our API and are designed to be used within agentic workflows with exceptional instruction following, tool use like web search or Python code execution, and reasoning capabilities, including the ability to adjust the reasoning effort for tasks that don't require complex reasoning and or target very low latency final outputs. So when OpenAI first released their reasoning models, we couldn't see their thoughts, okay? And then they started to unlock that slowly, slowly, slowly. But now that their open source models can be fully compatible with the Responses API, and it's actually designed with that in mind, that's quite powerful for us. Because yes, most open source models are drop-in replacements, except for when you're using like the proprietary Responses API, like the agents and stuff like that. You can do it, but it's a little bit more trickery to kind of make it work. Even if you're using Olama, you could still be able to use the GPT OSS models with the Responses API and get stuff happening. So that's technically become a drop-in replacement for the drop-in replacement, if that makes sense. If I've misinterpreted that, then please do correct me in the comments.